All right. Day 2 of distance learning. Hopefully, everybody did okay yesterday. We're going to go over something today called input and output boxes, and we're going to focus on just adding and subtracting. All right. So, as we look at our first input output box, when we talk about in to out, we're going to look at this first ordered pair. And we're going to notice that it's getting bigger. So, two operations can make numbers bigger. We can multiply or we can add. So I'm going to check out adding here first, since I told you already that we're working on adding and subtracting with our input output boxes today. So 2 plus what equals 9? We can undo that addition with subtracting. So I'm going to take 9 minus 2 and get 7. And now I need to check on my second ordered pair. If I think my rule might be plus 7. 6 plus 7, is that 30? Yep. 8 plus 7, is that 50? Yep. Okay, so my rule, and I'd write that here, is plus 7. My variables, okay, and these variables are over here because that takes the place of any number we want to put into our input-output box. So my variables, I have a U and an H. And lastly, I need to do my equation. So the way I'm going to do my equation is I need to make an equation that would work for any number that somebody wanted to put in. So I'm going to go back to that variable and say, okay, U, that'll stand for any number that somebody wants to give me. Then I'll do my rule, plus 7, and that's going to equal H. And that is my first equation. Let's look at our next one. Next input-output box. Again, let's look at our ordered pairs. Usually want to look at 3 and see if we can come up with a rule. This time it's getting smaller, so that means it's got to be either subtract or divide. Minus 5, maybe you saw that. Variables happen to be the same this time. They won't always be using H's. That's what's in these boxes. And then I'll make my equation for any number. It could just be U minus my rule, which is minus 5, equals H. And my next one, okay, I'm going to check out 3 ordered pairs here. Looks like I'm getting smaller from my in to my out. Rule is minus 12. Variables U and H. And I'm going to take U, I'm going to subtract 12, and I'll be left with H. That's what we're doing. So as you get to your work, now in Google Classroom, hopefully you can print these off. If you can't print them off, you can come up to the office and pick them up at Wilshire. You're just going to do the same thing. Again, look and see, okay, all right, I think I know my rule. Write it in. What are your variables? They'll be different than they were on my examples. And so you have 2 sides to that worksheet, input-output boxes. If you get some time, just some basic division facts here with those sheets. And then 59 errors, read through the directions. It says the multiplication grid below contains 59 errors. Check all of the answers. When you find a mistake, correct it and shade in that box. When you're finished shading the boxes with errors, the shaded grid will spell out the answer to the following riddle. What is too much for 1, enough for 2, and nothing at all for 3? So you're just going to check it out, just like a multiplication table. 7 times 9 is 63. Oh, that's right. 7 times 6 is 42. That's right. 3 times 7 is 21. That's right. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 8, 56. 7 times 7. There's my first error. So I'm going to write in the correct answer. Might want a pen or something. And then you're going to shade it in. Now, if I was going to shade it, I'd probably want to go with a little bit of a lighter color so that my answer would still kind of bleed through there. My yellow doesn't work so well, but excuse me, you get the idea. All right. If you have some extra time and you want to do some of the posting games from Google Classroom, we're doing stations in the classroom today, and then homework too, so you can print that off. Okay. So if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.